Hey guys, welcome back, welcome aboard, welcome home. Of course, and as always, completely dependent on where you are in relation to this channel, these messages, this energy, and this week. This week we're going to talk about what's up for the week of July 4th through the 10th, 2022. So, wow, okie dokie then. We are coming into this week reverberating, right, from last week's theme, which was, of course, truth, right? And the after steps of truth are always consequences and readjustments. With those things in mind, let's have a conversation. So on Monday, the 4th of July, we have a Virgo moon. Wow, okay. And that Virgo moon on Monday sextiles the sun in Cancer, right? Squares Venus, is quincunx to Chiron, and trines Uranus. So this is a day that feels like domestic accomplishment, right? Remembering that who you are is what you do, right? So here's the thing. You might feel like doing some home projects. You might feel like being in that sense of creation of home, right? You really might want to just get shit done, and that's okay. And you also may feel very challenged to get them just right. Now, keep in mind, please, that your home is a reflection of you, no matter how small the gesture is. So do what feels good. Do what feels the best representation of that 3D transcendent sense of home, right? So change whatever you need to change, arrange whatever you need to arrange, rearrange whatever you need to arrange. Do what feels good, knowing that you might change it back tomorrow, right? And that's okay. That is okay. On Tuesday, the 5th, listen, this day is wow from beginning to end. Mars changes signs into Taurus. Mercury changes signs into Cancer. That happens within about 20 minutes of one another, around 1 a.m. Central Time. And then just a few minutes after that, that Mercury, hello, sextiles that Mars. So not only do we get this new energetic, but then they say, hey, how you doing to one another, right? So later on in the morning, the moon still, of course, in Virgo, quincunxes Saturn, opposes Neptune, and trines Pluto, all those big giant outer planets in retrograde, right, to this Virgo moon. Around dinner time, the moon moves into Virgo, and then I see you, and then that Virgo moon, I'm sorry, the moon moves into Libra, shame on me, and then that Libra moon, sorry, picking up cards, quincunxes that brand newly minted in Taurus Mars, and squares that brand newly minted in Mercury Cancer. So this is going to be a day that feels very different, sounds very different, right? Dang, y'all. Okay. This Mars and Mercury energy, right, is about what we do and how we express it. So moving from an Aries Mars to a Taurus Mars, and moving from a Gemini Mercury to a Cancer Mercury necessarily reels that energy back, right, in both respects. So you might feel, I knew that was coming, a little more guarded. And that's okay. That's okay. They're going to say hello to one another. They're going to make their own acquaintance shortly after they switch energies, and that's all right. So like I said, you're going to wake up and it's going to feel very different. It's going to sound very different as the moon lights up those big planets, right? Saturn and Neptune and Pluto. the big picture, right, of your soul's topography is going to feel it's going to feel that, right? And this Virgo energy is going to witness it in a very either exacting or hypercritical kind of way. So keep mindful of that energy, right? Don't be too hard on yourself, right? As we talked about Monday, there's a day of shifting and changing. And so Tuesday, you might come back to all of those things and be like, I have no idea what I was thinking. As long as you're in alignment of your outward push of energy, the expression of your energy, right? What you are is what you do. Who you are is what you do. And as long as you're always circling back to your feelings and how they are being expressed and making sure that those are in balance, right? After that moves into Libra, that's your stronghold, right? Always coming back to your heart, your sense of alignment. Those three big planets in retrograde asking us, turn inward, make sure that what you're doing is aligned, that your connectivity is aligned, and that your concept of motion and transformation as expression is aligned. But it's kind of an exciting 24-hour odyssey, right? On Wednesday, the Libra moon opposes Jupiter. And then Venus in Gemini sextiles Chiron. And we have another square to our moon, to the moon squares the sun in cardinal signs. And then the moon opposes Chiron, right? So this is kind of a busy little moon day. This also creates a T-square, right? With Jupiter opposing the moon and squaring the sun. So again, we're talking about being hard on yourself, being hard on others, right? Keep that criticism and brutal honesty out of your mouth today, right? There's not going to be such a thing as constructive criticism that lands well on the 6th of July. Even with Venus trining Chiron, there's not going to be enough comfort zone to comfort the blow, right? Gemini and Aries energies will create that deeper self-wounding, right, potential, as opposed to any kind of opportunity for healing. Yeah, it's not a day to decide to laundry list your friends, your lovers, your family, even yourself, right? Just find alignment, find solace in whatever it is you need to, right? Venus in Gemini can allow you to create some kind of self-care, and today we're going to call it a self-care distraction, right? Because what you need is just a way to look away for a day. Give yourself a little bubble. On Thursday, the 7th, Libra moon all day. We have a beautiful trine to Venus. We have a quincunx to Uranus. Then she trines Saturn in retrograde, sextiles Neptune in retrograde, and squares Pluto in retrograde. This is another big T-square day, right? So we also have a very super loose trine of the moon, Saturn, and Venus. But that quincunx of Uranus and Neptune will kind of take the give out, right? It might change through the truth, and it might not feel like a victory today, even if it feels like a necessary change. Does that make sense? So we might be open to and amenable to shift and change, but it might not feel like the win. It might not feel like the win. But here's the deal. Hold fast to the fact that if you know what needs to be done, then it's a win in the long run, right? So trust your timing. Trust your timing on Thursday. Friday, the moon moves into Scorpio and almost immediately opposes Mars in Taurus. And then the Cancer sun squares Chiron. The moon trines Mercury and quincunxes Jupiter. So that moon, right, she holsters up that stinger. And then she has to figure out, right? She opposes Mars with that stinger out and ready. So your identity and yourself is going to feel challenged, right, by your narratives. If you are open and available for change through those narratives, right? If you can keep the story based in reality, that's wonderful. But you must always circle back to the certainty that the truth must be told, right? The truth must be told, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. And sometimes that stings, but in the long run, it does more good than not. Wow, we got lots of dropping cards today. Okay, fine. Alrighty. So, Saturday the 9th, Mercury, right, squares Jupiter. And then the moon really gets busy. She indirects Chiron. She's trine the sun. She's opposed to Uranus. She quincunxes Venus. And then she squares Saturn, trines Neptune, and sextiles Pluto. Again, we have another T-square, right? So the North Node and Uranus are opposed to the South Node and the Moon, both squaring Saturn. So here's the deal. Mind the precision of your language, right? Be careful how you speak your expectations. Be careful what you promise. Watch your conversation, right? In the evening, those big planets in retrograde are really going to be, wow, exacting when it comes to, wow, the way and the nature of your messaging. Utilizing your expressions to deepen your intensity or to kind of seethe and explode. So you can make a choice. And the result will definitely be up to you. On Sunday, the moon moves into Sagittarius. Overnight, almost right after that, the sun in Cancer sextiles Uranus. Later on in the morning, the moon will quincunx Mars. Later on in the evening, the moon will trine Jupiter and quincunx Mercury, now in Capricorn, or wow, now in Cancer. Hello. So here's the deal. On Sunday, the 10th, your heart and your being want an adventure, right? An experience. The good news is that your brain is in hell yeah mode and is along for the ride. So be sure that you're on board with the exciting plans and then dive in, right? You have no need for talking. This is a day of action and expression. Action and expression. Let your actions, in fact, be your expression this evening, right? This is beautiful. It's a beautiful energy on Sunday. Be in your rawest form, right? Be in your biggest self form. And have fun, right? Commit yourself to fun and then just let it be. Trust me on this. So the 4th, we talk about this as the day where the moon is in Virgo. We've got the moon and the devil, right? So this is attachments, unknown attachments. We talked about doing some projects, being challenged to get them just right? And understanding that your home is a reflection of you, and to do what feels good, knowing that you might change it back tomorrow. So we've got the moon. This is about your intuition, your feelings, your unknown self, your intuitive self. And so as the moon sextiles the sun in Cancer, right, we have that activation of the moon. Well, and then we have the devil, right, this is 3D attachments. This is, oh, I can't move that piece of furniture because it's always been that way. Oh, I can't possibly throw that away because I've always had this. Even if you don't use it, right? Here's the deal. If you don't use a thing for over a year, you probably don't need it. Throw it away. See what happens. Change, arrange, rearrange, right? Your home is a reflection of you. Your home is a reflection of you. What are you reflecting? Great question. Great question. Tuesday, the 5th, this is our wow day, right? So much happens. So much. So circling back to your feelings and your speech, we have got the 9 of Swords, we've got the Tower. This is anxiety. This is drastic cataclysmic shift and change from the external, right? The Tower is you can change your own paradigm, or it can be changed for you, right? And the ways that you perhaps don't change it are the ways that you end up having anxiety, the ways that you try to hold on to external sources of whatever it is, right? Whether it's old relationships, whether it's old ideas, whether it's old beliefs, whether it's old patterns of behavior, find a way to release that, right? Especially the ones that are unconsciously motivated. You can find ways to change that. There are plenty. Because if you don't, they bring you anxiety, right? They create that thing that wakes you up in the middle of the night, that thing that you fixate on, that thing that's obsessive, right? And like we said, the moon then has those big aspects to all three of our big planets in retrograde, bringing you back to the center of your soul's topography over and over again. Circle back, right, to your feelings. Circle back to the way you're in expression, right? Swords are always about expression or ideas. So what are you expressing? What do you need to express that you're not? Ask yourself, find out. On Wednesday, we've got that T-square, Jupiter and the moon, squaring the sun. We're talking about being hard on yourself, right? We're talking about a day of no constructive criticism whatsoever, and to avoid creating that need, because self-wounding is real. So the Knight of Cups, right, this is always about bringing messages of love. This is about speaking of ways of emotional fulfillment, right, of having movement on those ways. Well, guess what? The Hermit asks us, go inside. Go internal, right? Find that peace. We talked about perhaps self-care as a distraction today. That's a great idea. Go inside. Find your light inside. Find your love inside you, and resist the urge. Resist the urge to be critical of yourself or anyone else, because you can't win on that day. You cannot. Thursday, we've got another T-square. We also have the Two of Cups and the Four of Cups. So let's talk about these cards, right? We talked about how this might be a day where change does not feel like a victory, right? Even though it feels necessary. Because you know it's what needs to be done. So we've got the Two of Cups and the Four, right? The Four of Cups is boredom. It is, the universe is trying to hand you a thing, a beautiful cup, right? A cup that you say, no thank you, no thank you. Here's the deal. Somewhere in your life, there is a gift of love that you are not accepting. Somewhere in your life, the universe is trying to give you a thing and you're kind of going, maybe not, right? Maybe not. Choose through truth. And it might not feel like a victory, even if it feels necessary. But hold fast, because you know that what needs to be done must be done. Right? Right? Ignore a blessing. You're ignoring a blessing. You're ignoring a blessing. On Friday, we've got the Page of Cups. Lovely. And the Two of Wands. Yeah, so the Page of Cups is lovely. It's about someone sharing new ways to feel content, to feel fulfilled, to feel satisfied, to feel love on every level, right? And then we've got the Two of Wands, making highest choices, right? Making heart-based, passionate choices that will change and affect your life. So we talked about this as the day that the moon moves into Scorpio. Right? Finding ways that your identity or yourself are challenged by your narratives. Be open and available though, because if you can keep it based in reality, right? We're standing on solid ground here in both cases. The truth must be told. And the Page of Cups, right? This beautiful energy is always about love as truth and truth as love. And if you build your choices on that love, you know, that's kind of what we're here to do, right? To make those discernments. Boy, on Saturday, look, we've got the Knight of Swords and we have the Five of Wands. The Knight of Swords is rash, right? It's about movement of energy. It's about movement of belief. Sometimes it's about shooting your mouth off. Sometimes it's about taking action on a thing that you haven't really processed all the way. The Five of Wands is a card that asks us to witness where we're standing in defense, right? Nobody is actually hitting one another in this card. There's no actual fighting. There's just a lot of posturing. So where are your ideas keeping you back, right? Where are your expectations created in your languaging, right? Non-specific. Where are you making promises? Where are you standing in the way of your progress because your beliefs are not in line? Utilizing your expression to deepen your intensity or to create explosive action. You get to choose. You get to choose, right? I mean, you always get to choose. So Sunday, July, this is the 10th, and this is the day that we talked about having an adventure, right? Knowing that your heart wants an adventure and that your brain is along for the ride. The High Priestess is the creatrix of that which is in the 3D, right? We bring the transcendent in to the 3D through that High Priestess energy. The Four of Wands is shared bliss, right? This is joyful celebration. This is beautiful, heart-based, passionate foundation, right, in your expression. So follow your heart. Follow your heart, right? Whatever you're going to do, follow your heart. Act accordingly. Listen. We talked about this week and last week's themes being truth and consequences. Act accordingly, right? Act accordingly. We've got a lot of Mars and Mercury activity this week, right? Both shift signs. The moon moves through that third quadrant, right? From Virgo through Libra and Scorpio into Sagittarius. This is about our thinking, our social identity, our consciousness, right? How we form intimate bonds, right? Both with ourselves, with our, and then how we dive deeper into that union, and then how we create through that union our interaction with the abstraction, right? So this is about our environment and how we place ourselves as individuals, right? How we form and shape our perspectives. This is all about your self-expression, your choosing, right? Where and how and what. All of those are dependent on one thing, right? Your why. Your why. Do you know what your why is? And if you don't, right, we 100% urge you to find that why. Let's talk about this lovely oracle card, the Goddess of the Moon, shall we? Let's see what she has to say. She's quite beautiful. Number 52. I like that number. Okay. Wow. See, it makes me laugh. Goddess of the Moon. Intuition. Going within, right? No kidding. This card shows an eternal spirit holding the bright, reflective moon and standing in front of a crystal clear waterfall of a sparkling waterfall. Okay. Her arms are stretched upward, receiving the light of the moon, the light of inspiration. Yeah. This card is all about intuition and the ability to receive insights from your soul's point of view. Receiving this card tells you that you have the power to get intuitive information on all types of issues, and now is the time to use it. The Goddess of the Moon brings you all sorts of information from mundane to spectacular. For instance, you could get the urge to take a direct route home from work and find out later that you've avoided a 3-hour traffic jam, or you might have an idea for a great invention, a stock investment, or a spellbinding novel. This card could also indicate a significant blossoming of a psychic ability or mediumship, even on a professional level. You're always blessed with this ability to connect, but this card is telling you now that it is the perfect time to open up. Get ready for the amazing inspiration this brings. So again, we talk about truth, right? Truth as a theme that reverberates all the way through our experience, through our souls, through our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual realms and beyond, right? We're not just choosing for our 3D experience, right? We're always choosing in accordance with our divinity, right? With our spiritual truth, which is that you are here as the temporary manifestation of the divine in action. Act accordingly, right? Don't sit around and wait. Don't hold yourself back. Don't fret. Don't just meander about. Take the time you need, but by God, don't turn away your blessings. Take the love, take your passions, mind your business, and trust your intuition. Look what you get. Look what you get when you do. Anyway, big giant blessings. This week is going to feel perhaps a little hairpin turny, right? And that's okay. Be in it. Just be in it. The more you can stay in flow, the less resistance you'll have. So, yeah. Contemplate your big pictures and your whys. Yeah. Big blessings, guys. Take care.